for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Gift Ogete. In our major story, Senate approves President Goodluck Jonathan's request for a $1 billion loan to tackle security challenges in Nigeria. Also in this program, Ekiti Chief Judge orders indefinite closure of courts in the state over seize of election petition tribunal by hoodlums. President Goodluck Jonathan reassures the international community that the 2015 elections would be in line with global best practices. And outside Nigeria, US-led coalition against Islamic State targets 12 oil refineries in Syria on the third night of air strikes against militants. Thanks for staying tuned with us. It's CoreTV Primetime News. Now, details of the news headlines and other stories. The Senate has approved President Goodluck Jonathan's request for a $1 billion loan to tackle security challenges in the country. This was after an extensive debate on a report that outlined some of the operational needs of the Nigerian military. The Joint Committee revealed that the loan facility is in terms of upfront supply of military hardware, which would be paid for over a period of 7 years. However, many senators, especially from the All Progressives Congress, insist that the arrangement is not tidy enough.
The request was first made in July, but it was not until September that federal lawmakers began considering it. By then, Boko Haram insurgents had taken over some towns and villages in northeast Nigeria. The Joint Senate Committee on Thursday turned in a report that showed that Nigeria does not have enough helicopter gunships to battle the insurgents. It added that no new helicopter was bought since 1998 and that the military hardware Nigeria desires are to be paid for over a 7-year period.
These findings, in our opinion, some of them also are of security implications, but members can read them. But may I say that the equipment hardware covers helicopters, ships, armaments, and other hardware equipment. Therefore, it covers both land and sea security. The recommendation, in view of the Joint Committee's findings, the terms and conditions of the loan agreement, and the urgent need to restore full normalcy in the country, the Joint Committee recommends that the Senate approve the external loan in kind of $1 billion to tackle the ongoing security challenges.
This elicited some protests from opposition senators who wanted due process followed, but they were overruled by the majority.
Mr. President, this request, to the best of my ability and with the assistance of this Constitution, has consequences for the existing Appropriation Act. We do not question the right of Mr. President to ask for money or ask to borrow money, but there is a process that need to be followed. And the provision of the Constitution for this process is what I just read. Mr. President,
in appealing that we do not go into any debate on this matter. And I'm so worried because of the character of the debate. I don't want the situation where we leave these chambers and the public will believe that one political party is supporting a fight against insurgents and another political party is not supporting it. That is so. I don't want any place. Yes, that's what's happening here. So that is serious. That is a serious situation. If the debate,
The Senate unanimously approved the request, with Senate President David Mark providing the last word on the issue.
Those in favor that the Senate approves the external loan in kind of $1 billion to tackle the ongoing security challenges in the Northeast, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it.
With the Senate's decision to approve the request, the Nigerian authorities now wait for the House of Representatives' position before sealing the $1 billion arms purchase deal.
The All Progressives Congress caucus of the Senate, meanwhile, insists that its members are not opposed to the ongoing war against insurgency. It says its members are just not comfortable with external borrowing when the money can be locally sourced from the excess crude account or sovereign wealth fund. The opposition lawmakers are also not fully convinced that the loan sought would be used for the purpose it was meant for.
We want the primary purpose of government to be fulfilled. We want security of lives and properties, and anything that government could do seriously in a very committed manner to end insurgency in the Northeast is welcome. When I stood up, I made it very clear that we were not against the issue of borrowing, but we were against the misapplication of what is borrowed. We said it loud and clear that the Senate had approved repeatedly billions and billions to fight insurgency in the in the Northeast. And yet, we continue to hear that Boko Haram was on rampage. So what has been happening to these funds that have been appropriated and released for purchase of equipment and proper kitting of our troops to help them fight in a very meaningful and purposeful manner?
There are some insinuations as if APC was against the law. No. You see the position taken by us, the opposition, is that there are easier way of raising money for security, because we have sovereign wealth fund is there, we have excess crude account, you have even a lot of money in the pension fund. If such a serious situation arises that money is needed, we don't go to the longer process of taking a loan. We utilize these funds. We can take loan from them, not go for foreign loan. So there is that issue. Some again feel that it's not even taking the loan, the loan is going to be used for election purposes. So they need some way of accounting or accountability that really the money is going to be spent on purchasing of equipment.
Fear gripped the city of Ado-Ekiti as the state governorship election petition tribunal had its inaugural sitting. The unrest, which is believed to be a continuation of the siege on the Ado-Ekiti High Court, has had councils whisked away by the Commissioner of Police. The rampaging hoodlums, suspected to be political party thugs, were not deterred. Rashid was there. He filed in this report.
Barely few days after the Ekiti State High Court was invaded by thugs, Venue of the state governorship election petition tribunal was disrupted by hoodlums suspected to be party supporters. The youths prevented movement on roads leading to the venue as early as 8 a.m. The chairman of the tribunal, Muhammad Suraju, admonished councils to caution their clients on creating chaos as he ruled that all applications are to be consolidated for hearing with the governor-elect Ayo Fayose in attendance.
Filed a response and for an expeditious hearing, we have stepped down our objections so that everything will be taken together with the substantive suit because of the time factor.
First is that we have fixed a day for hearing. The hearing will commence on the 14th, and I think we will do it and we'll be through immediately.
Okay, now prepare your team for.
We are ready. We are ready for it.
Okay.
Thank you.
As the chairman rounded up the seating, the atmosphere outside the venue became tensed. There were reports of alleged beating up of a judge. Councils and judges apparently became subject of attack from the hoodlums, which caused panic.
Which is unfortunate. But violence is associated with all these political matters, but not for lawyers to attack. That's what we feel.
This is a political case. It comes with a lot of emotions. Once justice is done, everybody will be happy.
The presence of the Commissioner of Police here is evidence that he is on top of the security situation. We are going to assume that he will be able to sanitize the situation.
It took the combined efforts of the team led by the Commissioner of Police, Taiwo Lakano, and his lieutenants to rescue the lawyers and judges from the jaws of death as the mob stood nearby, resisting tear gas.
We tried to save the lives of the judges first. Nobody was injured. Everybody was taken out of court. The judge was protected, and we've sent them away. Our president led the team. We are taking the judges and lawyers out of town.
The case has been adjourned to October 14. The desperation of the youths or their principles needs to be checked to avoid crisis. Rashid, CoreTV News, Adwikiti.
In what appears a tacit response to the unending invasion of court sessions by hoodlums suspected to be political party thugs, the Ekiti State Chief Judge has ordered the indefinite closure of all state high courts. This followed the beating up of Justice Johnson Ogunleye by the rampaging thugs. The state government has meanwhile blamed the governor-elect Ayo Fayose for the assault. Fayose was, however, quick to describe the government's accusation as a white lie. Again, Rashid reports.
At the moment, is under siege as thuggery appears to be the name on everybody's lips. The lingering political crisis rocking the state with a dent on the function of the judiciary appears far from over. The state government, through the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Wali Fabunda, accused Governor-elect Ayo Fayose, who was present at the tribunal, for supervising the beating of the judge of the High Court, Justice Johnson Adeleye. The accusation was quickly dismissed by the Fayose group as an expensive joke.
Persons acting on the instruction of the governor-elect assaulted a state High Court judge, Justice Isaac Adeneye, within the court premises.
It is a blatant lie. It is a lie fabricated by the outgoing Kayode Fayemi administration and the APC, knowing fully that they have lost and they are on their way out.
The alleged assault, according to the state government, is a desecration on Temple of Justice and untoward behavior from a governor-elect. The media aide to Fayose responded without batting an eyelid and added that Fayose is a peace-loving man.
Conduct, bringing him to the court premises, machete welding talks, is not the kind of conduct that you either expect from the governor-elect or expect to see in a court of justice.
They did not see him quarreling with anybody. Even after he left the court premises, he did not branch at anywhere, but instead came to his office. And we are surprised when we were later confronted, when His Excellency was confronted with the allegation that he slapped Justice Adeyeye.
However, in a press statement, the Chief Judge of the state, Ayodaramola, ordered the closure of all high courts in the state owing to the developing trend. The state government and Fayoshe also made issue out of this.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association will be visiting Ekiti State next week, Tuesday, to have a first-hand view of the situation. I will also be advising the Chief Judge of Ekiti State to urgently take up this issue of the harassment of lawyers and judges with the National Judicial Council.
If Justice Adeyeye can say that Fayoshe beat him or slapped him today, let them go and meet Justice Adeyeye. Chief Judge of the state has closed all the high courts in the state. Where? That is left for the Chief Judge.
Obviously, these are not the best of time in Ekiti State. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Now to Osun. Meanwhile, in neighboring Osun, the State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo has received the response of Governor of Osun and winner of the August 9 governorship poll, Ralph Aregbesola. The PDP governorship candidate at the poll, Iyinla Omisore, is challenging the victory of Aregbesola at the tribunal. Rashid, however, reports that Aregbesola, through his counsels, is confident of emerging victorious at the tribunal.
The die is cast and the stage also set for the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo to start full hearing on the petition filed by Iyinla Omisore challenging the victory of Ralph Aregbesola at the August 9 governorship poll. The lead counsel for Aregbesola, Kunle Adegoke, says the legal team is ready to match the petition of Omisore word for word and page to page.
But today we are filing for Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola. There were allegations by the opposition to the effect that Ogbeni was avoiding service and he didn't want the tribunal to be able to hear their petition. But we have looked at the petition. There's no tiger in it. There's no lion in it. And Ogbeni is more than capable to defend the allegations therein. So we are here today filing the defense. And at the end of the day, we have amassed about 600 witnesses to counter their allegations who are already willing and able to defend the petition appropriately.
Principal witnesses like the Secretary to the Osun State Government and Commissioner for Women Affairs expressed optimism and confidence in the response of Aregbesola, adding that the election was free and fair.
And I was told the number of people that were accredited and they were counted after we've queued up, and the number of the people on the queue tallied with the one they've accredited in the voter. We did not engage in any malpractices to warrant the cancellation of the election. So we are optimistic that we are going to win.
We preach peace, and we wanted that we have a smooth election, contrary to what the opposition expected. So we're not going to give anything a chance. I stood there, I was there, and I ensured I voted. So if they check, they will know that I voted in one place. And I'm here. And of course, before then, we had done the work. The work for election is not done in just one day.
One of the victims of the alleged security harassment during the election, Fatai Diekola, says only APC has the moral right to challenge the August 9 election, not the PDP. He also affirms that victory is sure for Aregbesola.
Let's say I'm here to give solidarity to my people. And in view of the unusual government we have in the federation, because we must shine your face in this system, that's why there is nothing that is impossible in Nigeria now. We have a very clear and clean election in Osogbo local government and Olonda local government. If we are to complain at all, APC should be the party to complain.
Nigerians, particularly the people of Osun, are anxiously awaiting what next. Rashid, CoreTV News.
Adamawa State chapter of the People's Democratic Party on Thursday accused the opposition All Progressives Congress of planning to rig the forthcoming governorship by-election in the state. The declaration, which was made by the PDP state chairman Joel Madaki, followed the observation by the party about the alleged reluctance of the APC to embark on political campaign. The ruling party claimed that the APC had instead engaged in campaigns of calumny against its candidate, Hamadu Fintiri, who is also the state's acting governor. The PDP state chairman said except the APC had something up its sleeves, which is possibly to rig the elections, it would not be hesitating to engage with the Adamawa electorate. He therefore called on the APC not to challenge the outcome of the polls when the verdict is out with frivolous petitions, saying it had failed to engage with the electorate fully. President Goodluck Jonathan has reassured the international community that the 2015 elections would be in line with global best practices. He gave the assurance at separate meetings with UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and British Prime Minister David Cameron in New York. Presidential spokesman Ruben Barty said in a statement that Jonathan gave a personal commitment on credible elections and stronger democratic institutions under his watch. He also assured both leaders that international observers would be given free access to monitor the elections anywhere in the country. President Jonathan met the two leaders before leaving for Nigeria to attending the 69th session of the UN General Assembly. Barely 1 week after the People's Democratic Party adopted President Goodluck Jonathan as its sole candidate for next year's election, a pro-Jonathan group wants other parties to toe a similar path. The Goodluck Initiative for Jonathan made this demand at a news conference in Abuja. The group insists that Jonathan has done enough to deserve unanimous support from all registered political parties.
That we have gathered today to call on all political parties in Nigeria. We believe that if the president is doing well, we must support the president. This call is to every political party in Nigeria. We want them to sow the same seed the People's Democratic Party has shown, that President Goodluck Jonathan should be readily and easily adopted by all the political parties in Nigeria, because this will help in making sure that the huge resources that we've expended, especially with the primaries and the selection process and INEC, we can channel those resources to other pressing issues in Nigeria today. Because the moment every political party adopts President Goodluck Jonathan as the only candidate, I think Nigeria will begin to work as a peaceful nation once and for all, and the issues of sectionalism, religion will never come into our play again.
This is CoreTV Primetime News. Analysts on a flagship Core Digest program dissect corruption in the nation's judiciary. Find out more and other stories after this timeout. Stay with us.
As a doctor, I've seen lots of mothers. Now, I'm one myself. Other mothers have taught me things only a mother could know. But when it came to relieving their baby's pain and fever, many mothers don't know what to do. So I told them about Panadol Children. Panadol Children is fast and effective, and it can be taken from when they're 3 months old. I'm still learning to be a mother, and it's getting better every day. New Panadol Children, fast and effective relief from pain and fever.
Nivea Nourishing Body Lotion. Its effective formula with Hydra IQ gives your skin deep and long-lasting nourishment for skin that stays moisturized all day long. Look great, feel great, with deeply nourished skin. Nourishing Body Lotion from Nivea.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome back. It's CoreTV Primetime News. The All Progressives Congress has promised to explore all avenues to eradicate poverty if elected into office in the next general elections. Lagos APC Chairman Henry Ajomale made the statement at the Youth Empowerment Program in the state. Abiola Luwule's report is presented from our studios.
Ahead of the 2015 general elections, political parties have started exploring ways of selling their programs to the electorate. Speaking at an empowerment program, the Lagos APC chairman, Henry Ajomale, says the empowerment program is born out of the desire of the party to eradicate poverty among small-scale business operators. Ajomale maintained that economic empowerment is cardinal to the manifesto of the APC.
We are concentrating on women development, we are concentrating on youth development, and we are concentrating on the disabled. Those three sectors are very, very important and very key to our program. When we come to government in 2015, by the grace of God, at the federal level, these are the programs that we will tackle first. And the most important thing is the issue of corruption, which must be eliminated by the APC government in power. If I have the opportunity and I have the equal right to the resources of this country, why should I be receiving a dole-out? I should be helping others, not others helping me.
Beneficiaries of the program say it will empower them to start their own businesses.
A governorship aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Seyi Makinde, has officially made known his intention to be the #1 citizen of the Oyo State governorship of the Oyo State come 2015. Anita Fatunji was there. She filed in this report.
Present at the campaign rally are prominent members of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State. The governorship hopeful Seyi Makinde says he was motivated by the passion to transform Oyo State into one of the leading states in Nigeria.
I want to chart a new future, a future of hope and brightness, a future of joy, a future of prosperity. And the time for a positive change is now. I therefore stand before you to announce my candidacy for the position of governor of Oyo State.
His supporters says Makinde is the right person to effect the change in Oyo State.
He can do more than that, more than expected. He can be the president of this nation. If he comes to be a governor, there will be a lot of changes in this state.
Majority of the residents spoken to says they need a governor that is not controversial, but one who understands the plight of the people. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mariam Aloma Mokhtar, has decried the slow pace of judicial processes in the country as reasons why corruption is rife among judges and lawyers. Speaking on our flagship program, Core Digest, legal practitioner Wale Ogunade says the delay in the justice system is as a result of the kind of laws operated in the country, which has encouraged corruption by judicial workers.
The judge does not have the power to go, okay, I remove you. No, there are procedures. At best, the judge can go out and say, I'm having a prerogative of mercy program. That's at best, and he can't just say, open wide the prison doors. No. If the Bible says they open us the way prison doors and you are singing it, you are on your own. The judge has no power to go to a prison and open wide the prison doors for all to come out because they've been incarcerated illegally. No. There are procedures. That's why you hear these judges say, my hands are tied sometimes. The law is not the way. And maybe before I forget, I know in South Korea, no matter what the problem is, legally, within 2 weeks, everything is dispensed with. And if anybody tells me it's not possible in Nigeria, I will say the person is a big liar. Look at it now, the election, the Electoral Act amended. Within 120 days. No, sorry. Yeah, 120 days. All issues about elections are done with. So the same thing can go down, because no doubt as a lawyer, we play gymnastics, we hide under technicalities to do all sorts of things to delay justice. Yes, but it's the law that allows it. If there is a law that says no matter what, you come to court today, you make your submission, and the judge sits down to give a ruling or a judgment, shikenan. But sometimes on the day of judgment or ruling, the judge will not be there. I know sometimes what I go through as a lawyer. I'll get to court, the court will not sit. The judge will not be there to sit. Then we'll have to postpone again. Is that my fault? But if the judge is not there to sit, there's a penalty. As I'm talking to you, I don't think any judge has been sanctioned in this country for not sitting. But if I, as a lawyer, if I don't go to court on a day that I have in my matter, the matter will be struck off.
Public Affairs Analyst Martins Onovo hails the Chief Justice for admitting the level of corruption in the judiciary.
It's not just dysfunctional, it is perverse. And you cannot expect a perfect judiciary in a perverse society. So if we are trying to be very, very practical, we will know that the judiciary in Nigeria has tried, especially this current Chief Justice. Because she's the only one who had the boldness to even admit these things that all of us know are true, and all of us pretend. Just like Bale was saying, these things are there, we know they are true, because we encounter them daily. And this woman has the courage. I heard Dangote the other day saying that women are more honest than men. I think this is a case where there is a possibility that his statement is right.
It's not possibility, it's the truth.
It's the truth. So, in general, I think women are more honest than men. Now, this woman has the courage to do this. And don't forget, there are some judges being investigated.
This is CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and return with business and sports. Stay with us.
As a doctor, I've seen lots of mothers. Now, I'm one myself. Other mothers have taught me things only a mother could know. But when it came to relieving their baby's pain and fever, many mothers don't know what to do. So I told them about Panadol Children. Panadol Children is fast and effective, and it can be taken from when they're 3 months old. I'm still learning to be a mother, and it's getting better every day. New Panadol Children, fast and effective relief from pain and fever.
Nivea Nourishing Body Lotion. Its effective formula with Hydra IQ gives your skin deep and long-lasting nourishment for skin that stays moisturized all day long. Look great, feel great with deeply nourished skin. Nourishing Body Lotion from Nivea.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it, don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Hello there, welcome to CoreTV Business News with me, Sabina Izuku. Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, has in the last 25 years paid over 93 billion naira to Nigeria who lost money in the failed banks. It also says about 81,000 verified depositors of 186 closed microfinance banks have received 2.7 billion naira as dividend. The NDIC Managing Director Umaru Ibrahim presented the figures at a press briefing in Abuja to mark the corporation's 25th anniversary.
I have various figures pertaining to liquidation activities, the amount of deposits we paid for the various deposit money banks. I said today we have paid 6.8 billion to over 500,000 insured depositors of the 48 banks, deposit money banks in liquidation. We have also, as you know, have a set of 186 microfinance banks that were closed down about 3 years ago. We have paid over 2.7 billion in respect of over 80,000 depositors of those microfinance banks. And currently, we are in the process of paying the depositors of the latest set of microfinance banks in liquidation. I think about 86 or thereabout of them. Generally speaking, the problems we always encounter in payment of insured and uninsured deposits is the fact that depositors do not easily come forward to file their claims.
Additional 8.8 megawatts of electricity is to be added to existing capacity from embedded generation in Lagos State from next month. The 8.8 megawatts are coming from the mainland independent power plant located at Ikeja GRA. The number of the IPPs so far embarked upon by the Lagos State government in partnership with some private investors brings the number to 4. Amongst the existing IPPs in the state include 12.15 megawatts Akute IPP, amongst others. Governor Babatunde Fashola will formally switch on the power plants as part of activities to mark the 2014 Energy Conservation Month in the state. And on technology, BlackBerry has launched a distinctive handset featuring a square screen and keyboard that offers both physical keys and touch-enabled gestures control. It said work-focused users in particular should benefit from the BlackBerry Passport innovations. Sales from the company handset, which are powered by its own operating system, have been in decline. Analysts said the new device should appeal to existing BlackBerry owners but might struggle to win over others. The Canadian company chief operating officer said the handset's release was part of a broader turnaround strategy led by John Chen, who became chief executive in November. The iPhone is being sold at an introductory rate of $599. Apple has apologized after an update to its mobile operating system left some owners of the new iPhones unable to make or receive calls. Users who had installed iOS 8.01 on the iPhone 6 models also complained it had caused problems for the handset Touch ID fingerprint facility. The update had been released less than a week after the iPhones had gone on sale in order to fix other issues. The company had also published a support document that lists the steps affected users can take to revert their devices to the previous version of the operating system. The iOS 8.01 update had been made available online for less than an hour before it was pulled on Wednesday. On Tuesday, claims were made that some of the iPhones had bent after being placed in users' pockets. It is as yet unclear whether it is a major problem or not. And on the stock market report, the equity transaction on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all shares index dipped and closed at 40,780 basis points. Market capitalization decreased and closes at 13.46 trillion naira. In all, a total of 273 million shares valued at 4.6 billion naira were exchanged in 4,330 deals. Report shows that Total topped the gainers chart, followed by Nestle PLC, 40 Oil, Guinness, and International Brewers. On the other hand, WAPCO topped the losers chart, followed by Dangote Cement, PZ, Con Oil, and Axis Bank. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And that's it on business news. Gift to Gifter. We'll be back with the rest of the story. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball storming, Oil with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead and really.
CoreTV Primetime News and now sports. Out of contract Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi has reacted to criticisms about his selection policy and style, saying he's open to inviting some fresh faces if he sees them. The former Hawks of Togo coach has come under intense scrutiny and criticisms lately about his invitation policy and how certain players are always left out of the national side. But the big boss has defended himself, saying he's very much open to inviting new players to the team as is being craved for. Former footballers have been calling for a change in how players are called to the Super Eagles, with some seeing it as a closed circuit where a particular group are always invited irrespective of how they fare at their clubs, even when they hardly get games. American investment company Kane Hoy has said it is no longer considering making an offer to buy Tottenham. In September, the firm confirmed it was in the early stages of accessing an offer for the Premier League club. In a statement issued to the London Stock Exchange, the company said it had terminated its interest in a takeover bid and was no longer considering making an offer. Kane Hoy had until 10th October to firm up its interest or withdraw it. And now to story outside Nigeria. The US-led coalition against Islamic State has targeted 12 oil refineries in Syria on the third night of airstrikes against the militants. Activists say raids carried out by US, Saudi and UAE aircraft killed 14 of the group's fighters and 5 civilians in eastern Syria. According to the Pentagon, the refineries generated up to $2 million per day in revenue for the militants. In northern Syria, Kurdish forces say they have pushed back an IS advance. US President Barack Obama has vowed to dismantle the IS network of death. And that's our show for tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Gift Ogete, wishing you a very good night rest. Good night.